Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Frieren. Last time around we had Killing Magic, where Frieren and Fern made it to a new town. Frieren was hiding what she was actually going to go out and buy, so Fern followed her, only to find out that Frieren was looking for a birthday present for her and a place to get a nice sweet treat. And Fern was just happy that she was trying to take the time to get to know her. After that, they went off to find a demon that Frieren had sealed up 80 years ago with Himmel and the gang. And because the seal was breaking, and basically told this demon that, yeah, your great spell that you created 80 years ago, yeah, that got power crept to shit. So they just completely decimated this guy. It was really interesting to see, actually, just the passage of time. So yeah, that's pretty much where we left off. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Frieren. Here we go. You guys did mention that these first 4 episodes are kind of a prologue, and yep, now I'm starting to see why. I'm starting to see why. Now we have our goal. You know, it's like JoJo. Like, you gotta wait a couple episodes, and then they'll give you what the part is going to be about. 10 years. 10 years. I mean, man, that's... See, that's the thing. For her, it's brief, but, like, putting that into perspective for me, like, 10 years ago, I was Fern's age. You know? 10 years... Well, I mean, she might be around 18 now, but... Even still, it's like, you know... Okay, me 10 years ago, specifically, like, so that'd be September of 2014, I was a senior in high school. I graduated in May of 2015, and just after that, I turned 18 in that July, so I was 17. Actually, 10 years ago, when I was 17, I made this YouTube channel, and I grew this beard. Those are the main 2 things, and they both happened like at about the same time. It was October of 2014, but they pretty much happened in succession of each other. That I made this YouTube channel that you see here. It was my second YouTube channel. I had one previously. I had one previously for about 3 years. And then I gave up on it and decided to switch gears and made this YouTube channel. And I had a lot of ambitions with this channel, and all of those have kind of fizzled out over the years, but not in a terrible, like, bad way, like, oh man, really? Like, it's just like, whatever. It's just, this hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to, so, yeah. At some point, I'm gonna have to move on from here. Hey, you know us YouTubers, once you get to 10 years, we're like, it might be time to quit, time to pack things up. And I have to admit that the thought crosses my mind. The problem is, none of the shows that I do are going to, like, they're not going to, like, line up their ending. If they all did that, then I would be like, okay, that's a good time to stop. All these shows end at the same time, but they're not going to do that, you know? I've got Kaguya ending soon, and then I've got Vinland Saga after that. Doctor Who never ends. I have no idea when, you know, it's going to be a while before we finish this show. Then I've got The Sopranos. That'll take forever, but anyway. But yeah, 10 years ago, I didn't have this YouTube channel. I didn't have this beard. And I don't have a picture that I can, like, show you right now, and there wouldn't be a picture on my phone, but yeah, but I was different, man. I was different. I might have been a bit lighter, probably. I don't know. I've probably packed on some more pounds. I was probably shorter, too. I mean, 17 is not when you're done growing, you know? So I was probably a little bit shorter, too. But yeah, just... oh man. 10 years. So, like, I'm trying to just picture it of, just if I started a journey 10 years ago when I was a senior in high school, and only now did I finish it. That's a long-ass time. It's not my entire life. I've still got a lot of life ahead of me. Fern does, too. Fern has a lot of life ahead of her, even after this whole 10-year thing, but it is a good chunk. It is a good chunk. That's, if you're being generous, that's a 10th of your life, Now, this is, sort of medieval fantasy. That could be a 6th, maybe a 7th of your life, I guess we could probably say that because we don't know how old Himmel was when he passed away. All we know is the 50 extra years he lived, Now, since we have this as sort of our prologue, I'm curious if, like, the pacing of these episodes is going to change at all. I kind of hope not, because I've really enjoyed the pacing of these episodes. We've been getting like 2 stories every episode. One for the first half, one for the second half. And I've just been enjoying the pacing. I've been enjoying the calm. I've been enjoying the, just going around doing things, And like last episode, there was an enemy that we faced, but even still, like, it wasn't like super crazy. Like, I'm curious if that's going to change or not. I don't know. I don't feel like it would, Like, I don't know how many chapters this would be in a manga. But, like, I feel like it wouldn't... I feel like you wouldn't just suddenly change tone or pacing after this, So, I don't know. But it's an interesting thing. But just, like, I've just really enjoyed these 4 episodes. Just the calmness of them, Just, like, the relax. I mean, I said this as much in the last couple episodes. Is like, this is so perfect for the end of the day, for the end of my recording day, because it's so peaceful and it's so relaxing, Like, we're just, like one step away from, like, ASMR, basically. Like, it's just so peaceful. I just love it. So, I hope that keeps up. But I don't know. So, again, interesting stuff on this episode. We've got, cleaning up the beach, which was really nice. I do like that, she wanted to do that for herself, really. Not even just to help, Because they could have gone with the whole, well, she wants to help because that's what Himmel would have done, Himmel would have helped them. But I like that it's like, well, she really wants to do it for herself because she wants to see the sunrise, She wants to know, what all the hubbub is, Why is the sunrise so magical, And it's just an interesting thing. First off, I love, and this is the term we use in the house, she is such a bum. She is such a bum. I love that she cannot get up on time, And I get it. I'm kind of the same way. Now, I'm not as bad. Like, once I get up, I will get up and I will get moving. But, man, getting out of bed can be so hard for me. Like, honestly, it's so difficult for me to get out of bed, Because I'm just so tired. So I get that. I completely get that. And honestly, I like seeing those, I meant to talk about this last time, but I like seeing those more sort of quirkier sides to her, because Frieren is established as the the stoic mage who doesn't really understand things and doesn't, kind of like a Vulcan almost, she's kind of like a Vulcan. It's like, oh, she doesn't understand the human emotions, but that's not really true, because she is still a person. It's just that her personality and her advanced age, everything is so different for her that she reacts to things in different ways, So, like last episode, when we see that little mischievous side of her, when she is kind of keeping the secret, and looking for sweets and stuff. And then in this episode, just seeing that it's like, she is just a complete bum who can't get out of bed in the morning, and Fern has to baby her and, brush her hair and get her clothes on and stuff, So that's really funny. I like that, I like seeing those different sides to her, And this, I like the whole thing of the sunrise where, she looks at the sunrise. I like that it's not a, she sees it and it's mind-blowing. Oh my gosh, she sees it and she's like, yep, that's a sunrise. It's what I always thought it would be. I don't see what the big deal was. But I like, she basically she pulls a Doctor Who basically, and it's not seeing it, it's seeing it through Fern's eyes, Seeing how Fern reacts to it is, the magical thing to her, And it's the same thing on Doctor Who with the Doctor. He explains to his companions, he's been everywhere, There's a quote, I think it's the 11th Doctor, where he says, "You make all of time and space your backyard, and what do you have? A backyard. But you look at it differently." So that's the thing, is like, he can still have all these amazing experiences because he has a companion and he sees amazing things through their eyes, He'll look at something and be like, yep, that's a thing. I've seen that a million times. They look at it and think that's the coolest thing in the world, so he gets into it. And it's the same thing with Frieren. That she looks at it and is like, yep, that's a sunrise. That's exactly what I thought it was going to be. There's nothing special about it. But it becomes special to her because it's special to Fern. And she cares about Fern. Therefore, it's that emotional connection, And it's part of the reason why Heiter was disappointed that Frieren didn't go the first time, And I mean, it is such a thing of, the pack mentality, Like, and I'm so acutely aware of this because I have a dog, where, like, sometimes if my parents are, like, out doing something, or someone's out of the house, basically, that dog is not resting well, and don't get me wrong, like, he'll rest for a while, but at a point he'll kind of look around and be like, what the hell, where is everyone, and it is that sort of pack mentality. And humans experience that too. Humans definitely experience that too. And so, while, yes, it doesn't really change anything that Frieren's not there, no, they still got to go see it. But Heiter was so disappointed that Frieren didn't show up, Even if she doesn't care, it's something important to him. Granted, I'm sure, a couple drinks and he forgot, but whatever, So all of that was really, really interesting. And then the second part of the episode, reuniting with Eisen, which was cool. And the Talks of Heaven, which I really like. I like that it's like... One thing I like about it is there's no real, like... There's not really a specific religion behind this. Like, obviously Heiter has a particular religion. For Eisen... it's just, we go to the ground and that's it. And it's just like, whatever you believe in. But I like that it's just like, I like them believing in just heaven itself, I mean, it kind of reminds me of, some people will believe just in the universe, It's just like you become one with the universe, and that's sort of, it's kind of heaven, you become one with the cosmos, with reality, and that can be an incredible thing. But I like this idea of just like, no matter who it is, like Heiter's not special because he's a priest. In fact, he might be less special than anyone else because he's a corrupt priest. But but it's like, but they're just talking about this general idea of heaven, and it's just a nice thing, It's just a nice thing. This this afterlife. It's not really, it's not really like, well, who's right, who's wrong about the religion. It's just like, it's just something to believe in, It's just something to believe in. And heck, maybe it is just that. Maybe it is just, there isn't a specific heaven, but you become, you become part of the universe. Or, in Star Wars, you become part of the Force, It's just, you just are. I don't know. There's just, maybe there's something after death. We don't know. But it's good to believe in. It's good to believe in, And I like, we get the flashback to Flamma, Frieren's master from over 1,000 years ago, which is pretty crazy. And it's interesting that she knew exactly what was going to happen to Frieren. There's going to be a point where you're going to want to get to know someone, but it's going to be too late. So she figured it out. She spent her life, in pursuit of something that would help Frieren. She spent her limited time in this world helping someone who has so much more time on this world, who could have figured all this out herself probably. But she did that because she cared about Frieren, And so now we have our destination to go to the place, literally to go to heaven and speak to Himmel, Finally get to know him the way she always should have. So yeah, we have our destination set, and we are that's where we're headed. That's where we're headed. It's like JoJo. It's like we gotta get what we're doing. We gotta defeat Dio. We gotta defeat the Pillarmen. We gotta defeat Dio again. We gotta screw around until Kira shows up. We gotta defeat Diavolo. We gotta break out of prison and defeat Poochie. Steel Ball Run. I don't know. I don't know anything about Steel Ball Run. I think they're cowboys. I don't know. Anyway. But now we have our destination. Is going to take 10 years. I don't know if that's where we're going to be at the end of the season, or if we're getting another season that'll keep going. If maybe that'll be the end of the show is getting to Himmel, but I don't know. But I'm curious and I'm excited. Honestly, and it's so interesting because every show that I'm reacting to right now is spectacular. I love all of them, but for some reason, the night before I start recording all these shows, in my head I think, oh sweet, I get to watch more Frieren tomorrow. It's sticking out in my head more than the rest of these shows. So, but I just realized my voice is kind of dying, isn't it? I just noticed that, so perhaps I should wrap up. So yeah, that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Frieren reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.